Hello, welcome to our Java programming topic number 15, Java for loop. And please do not forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell to get the latest videos of SirParts online. Hello guys, so I hope you are happy today to learn about Java for loop. And okay, let's start. Java for loop. When you know exactly how many times you want to loop through a block of code, use the for loop instead of a while loop. So this is a syntax for our for loop. So we have for, and then you have the statement 1, state with a colon, and statement 2 with a colon, and statement number 3. And this is the code block to be executed. So statement 1 is executed one time before the execution of the code block, and statement 2 defines the condition for executing the code block, while the statement 3 is executed every time after the code block has been executed. So let's go now to our example program. We have here our sample code for that. The name of our uh, class is for loop code, and please do not forget to save this same as the file name of our Java, which is for loop code. And please take note on the capitalization of that particular um, name. Okay, so we have here, we have this statement for int. We have an int integer I, which is equal to 0. This is our statement 1. We give a value of 0 for integer I. And then if I is less than 5, okay, when I is less than 5, the statement 3 is I plus plus, meaning we increment 1 every time the value is not less than to 5. So first, this is the block of code that you're going to execute when this particular uh, statements for our loop statements. So here, since our I is equal to 0, we will be displaying 0, and then it is compared with this is 0 less than 5. So it's less than 5, therefore it will be incremented by 1. So our new value for I is 1. So I is less than 5, therefore 1 will be incremented. I will be printed here. Then I will be added with 1. So I will now be 2. Then after that, 2 is less than 5. Then it will be printed, the output of 2, and then it will be incremented by 1. It will become 3 until such time that I will become 5. When 5 is less than 5, that is false. Therefore, it will stop. So let's try to see what's the output of this particular code. Let's try to run our run.bat. And okay, where's our run.bat? Let's try to check the run.bat. If okay, so we need to change this into for code, for loop code, for loop code. Okay, let's try to save. Then run this one. Okay, there's an error. What is that error? Error cannot follow for loop code. Try to check for loop code. Okay, for loop code. Okay, so it's normal to have errors on a program. Okay, let's try to look for that error. Let's try to see what's the error. Okay. Run. Expected. For loop code show an error class and there is a number record expected. One error. So that we have one error in our for loop code Java 78. So let's try to see the code. For the code. We have to save now. Try to save this. Okay. Let's try to look the code below. Maybe this one. Try to save. Okay, run the code. Okay. So we have resolved the problem. And do not get when you face those like of situations. Uh, do not get panic, no? And try to read the error so that you could correct it. And there you go. The output is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is the for loop code. This is our code. Let's go at the top. Okay, so it only displays 0 to 4. So if we want to display number 1 to 10 numbers, so what should we do? So we will increase this by 1, and then we will have this less than 11. Let's try to run if we were able to display 1 to 10. Okay, run the code. There you go, 1 to 10. Okay, so let's proceed now to the next topic for our for loop. Okay, so let's try to disable this particular code. Okay, so we have here our second program. Okay, so still same name of class. What's unique here in this particular problem is that we have our initial value, our first statement, we have our second statement, and our increment is different. Last time, as we see, our increment is only 1. This time, our increment is 2. So let's try to run this program, and this particular program will print number 0 to 10. So that will be 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Let's try to run. Okay, run. Oh, there's an error. Again, there's an error, guys. So let's try to look at that particular error. Java 34. Okay. Where is that error? So, okay, there. Here in this part, the error. I think we were able to delete the code here. The multi-line comment for nested loops. Let's try to run again. And then run the program. There you go. Displayed 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So the reason with that is because we have this increment here, no? We have an increment here, and also we were able to add this particular relational operator here, which is less than or equal to 10. So let's say if you are asked to display numbers from starting from, let's say, a number 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So what you will do here is you just simply change this to 1. Let's try to run. Okay, and then run the code. There you go, 1, 3, 7, 5, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Okay, so by just playing on the initial value, just playing by configuring our initial value we could have even numbers and odd numbers displayed on screen. So in this case, if we initialize this by 1, we could get the odd numbers 1 to 9 on this particular problem. So I hope you can that's the only way to change the different numbers, by simply changing this one. If we will use 0 for this one, we could display odd numbers 0 to uh, 0 to 10. Okay, so let's proceed now to our next topic, which is nested loop. But for that, we're going to disable this one. We use multi-line comment so that this particular code inside this will be treated as comments. They're not part of program or code. So we have here nested loops. So it is also possible to place a loop inside another loop. So this is called a nested loop. So the inner loop will be executed for each iteration of the outer loop. So let's try to enable this particular line of code. Okay, so that we could see run this particular program. So let's try to run first the program by saving it and then click run. There you go, there's an error again. Reach end of file while parsing. So error number 56. Okay, let's try to see the error by going to the program. Okay. Okay, so how many we have? I guess we were not able to put a, okay, 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. So I guess we need another close here. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 and 4. Let's try to save this and run. Okay, so we were able to produce the outer one, then we have inner 1 2 3, outer 2 1 2 3. So what is this? So let's try to see the code, and let's try to adjust this so that we could see the output of our, this is the output and this is our code. And as you can see here, this is the outer loop. So we have this variable int I equals 1, I is less than equal to 2, I plus plus. And we have this outer, this particular text outer here is the result of this particular code. And this 1 is a variable which is 1, and it executes 2 times. Why 2 times? Because of this particular code. I is less than or equal to 2, and then we increment that with an initial value of 1. Okay, so and for our inner loop, we have it executes 3 times for each loop. So 2 times 3, that is 6. So here we created another variable which is j, and the starting value for j is 1, and then the highest value for the condition before the loop will end if j is no longer less than or equal to 3. So you have here j plus plus, we increment j, so that here you could see 1 2 3 here. That's because of this particular looping. And for this you can see outer 1 and 2 here because of this particular loop. Okay, so thank you very much. I think that's all the topic for this, or not yet guys. So we're going to disable this one. our code and proceed to our next topic. So our next topic is what? This is for each. For each. So for each loop, there is also a for each loop which is used exclusively to loop through elements in an array. So array. So this is a syntax for type variable name colon array name, and it will loop for all the elements in the array. So for our example, we have here. Okay, we have our example. We're going to enable it. So we have public class for each loop. This is the name of our class again, and please do not forget that the name of the class is the name of our program. And we have the public static void main string args. This is our main method, the main method, which has a public, static, and void. And we declare here an array. This is an array of string, and the name of the array is cars, and we have the different cars: Volvo, BMW, Ford, and Mazda. And this is the for each loop right now. So for string I, colon cars system dot out dot print lni. So with that, you could print on screen the different values inside in our array cars. By the way, we have a separate topic on arrays, no, on this particular tutorial. But for this, we are learning for each loop. So let's try to run this program to see the output. So click save and click run. Okay, there is an error. Let's try to see the error. So this is the error. So let's check. Reach end of file while parsing. Error and close comment. So let's try to see the comment here in our code. So I guess we were able to delete the comment here. So we are going to include this comment for this one. Let's try to save. This is the closing multi-line comments for this particular text we have, this one. So I think that's the error, and let's try to save this and try to run the program. So click run. There you go. There's still an error. Public plus for each loop. Yeah, why? Because the name of the class should be, as what I've told you, the name of the class should be the name of the program. So let's try to change that, and let's change this to for loop code. Okay, that's okay. BMW, and then this will be for loop code. So that's the problem, that's the error, guys. If your program class is not the same with the name of the Java. So let's try to save this, and hopefully we will no longer get an error. There you go. We were able to display different values of our output, which is Volvo, BMW, Ford, and Mazda. All of these are stored in an array, in an array cars. So thank you very much. I hope you learned something. No, I hope you learned something today about Java for loop, and I hope you are now ready to create your programs. Please feel free to make some comments there for our video in order for the improvement of this tutorial. Thank you very much, everyone. Always remember, learning is lifetime. Bye.